Baby, turn off your mind, you seem to overthink a lot. Like, we can dance to the sunrise, and even then we wouldn't need to stop, see. We can vibe to the tune underneath the light of the moon. And I like when you groove. Tell me what you'd like me to do. Anything to brighten the mood. And I like what you groove. I got exactly what you asked for. Come and take my hand and we could take it to the dance floor. Baby, tell me what you need. If I got it and you want it, then I'll give you what you please. See, something like that.
Puff and Pass.
Disclaimer. We are not professionals, nor are we experts in the topics we discuss. Please take what we say with a grain of salt. Have a nice day and remember to smile. What's up, everybody? It's Red. Welcome back to Puff and Pass. It's good to see you here. How's everybody going at the table today?
Good as always, son.
Good shit. It's cold, man.
Yeah, it's a bit fresh out. It's a bit
I feel
fresh.
cold. It is ridiculous. It's nice in here, but it's cold outside. It's no good.
Winter has come.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, storm's coming. Watch out.
Jumping straight into our news today. Some good news, as always.
Yeah.
Adelaide child abducted in car, found safe.
Oh yeah, that sounds so good.
He was found safe. He was returned to his mum.
Kudos.
It happened at 7:45 in the morning, quite early. Mum left the keys in the car, like in the ignition of the car, and a carjacker who arrived on the scene in another stolen car went, I want that car too.
Grand Theft Auto type beat.
Yeah, facts. He just jumped in that car and he fucked off. Realized there was a baby in there. Long story short, baby got returned. Everyone's happy. Baby's not hurt. 4 months old. 4 months old. Like crazy shit.
Got returned by 10 a.m.
There you go. 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
All right, that's
3 hours,
calm.
man.
That's
That's
pretty
it.
calm.
Shouts out to that Crim for returning the baby. That's some good
And
stuff,
pleading
man.
guilty. He was
Wow.
honest about
Go
it.
him.
True.
Good
Go
shit.
him.
Good shit. Baby's home safe. Little 4-month-old boy, and he's not probably old enough to remember it. So
No,
you know.
mum's traumatized forever though.
Yeah, she will be. But some good shit. Some more positive news. It is the second day of Pride Month.
Yeah.
Good shit.
That's gay ass.
Fuck yeah. Shout out to my LGBTQIA+ community. I love you all.
Roll the clip.
What's your thoughts on like toxic masculinity?
What the fuck is that? Big man saying, I don't even know what that hyper-masculinity thing is, bruv. But shout out to my LGBTQ people, bruv, if you get me.
Happy Pride Month, everybody. It's a month of celebration and love. Donate to some organizations if you can. Go read some articles about inspiring queer people. Go be proud. Straight people be proud too. Don't be weird about it. Go be happy. Just because you're straight doesn't mean you can't be involved in queer activities and queer pride. You know, be involved as much as you want to. It's a month for love and celebration. Woo! Happy Pride Month!
Yeah.
Happy Pride Month! On a more serious note today, we're going to be talking about the freedom of speech and the 5 fundamental freedoms. Now, when I came into this episode, it was going to be a whole bunch of opinion.
Yeah.
Like my opinion, what most would call SJW approach, social justice warrior approach to this situation. But I have done a bit of reading, a lot of fucking reading actually, a lot of YouTube content consuming. It's been insane. About the legislation around free speech, hate speech, our rights to that, and what the difference is. So before we get into free speech in particular, I'm going to explain briefly the 5 fundamental freedoms that we have as Australian citizens.
Yeah.
We have the freedom to speech. This right includes the freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impart without interference by public authority and regardless of frontiers. This means, to quickly
That's a lot of words, yeah.
to quickly sum it up before we get into it, this means that you can have opinions about things and not receive ridicule for them. For example, here in Australia, we as citizens can post on our Facebook, Scott Morrison is a fuckhead and I hate him. And we don't receive any repercussions for that. We can't be fined. We can't be legally pursued, provided we are a citizen. We're not in a government job, school teacher job. Just as a citizen, we have the right to express opinions over certain things. The freedom of association. The right for all persons to group together voluntarily for a common goal and to form or join an association. Now, when we say this isn't you're allowed to be a member of the KKK. People always bring up, like when I've brought this up and watched videos in it the last couple
People are
of
like, so we
days.
can affiliate?
Yeah, so I can be a bikie, so I can be a KKK member. That's not what that says. What that says is you can proudly be a member of the LGBTQI community. a proud member of the BIPOC community, a proud member of the chest fucking community.
Yeah, too many acronyms. I'm glad you ended on chest,
yeah,
bro.
I'm giving him some simple ones too. It's the right to, or the legalized marijuana party. It's the right to have a collective as a group and stand for one thing and believe in one thing, and you're able to congress and speak about that one thing, have groups associated with it. The third is we have the fundamental right, or fundamental freedom to assembly. This protects individuals and groups to meet for common purposes or in order to exchange ideas and information, to express views publicly, and to hold a peaceful protest. Assembly is the right to protest peacefully, without vandalism, without public destruction, whatever the fuck, won't get into it.
Yeah.
A council organised legal protest, we have the right to that as citizens in Australia for whatever we stand for. That's why there's anti-abortion and pro-abortion, like all that. You'll see both sides of everything, because here in Australia we are allowed to express opinions in a civil matter during a public protest. We have the fundamental freedom to religion in Australia as well. This right shall include freedom to have or to adopt a religion or belief in their choice and freedom, either individually or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest religion or believe in worship, observance, practice, and teaching. To sum that up in simple words, what that means is...
You have the right to believe.
You do. You have the right to be Hindu, Islam, whatever you choose to identify as religiously, Christian, pagan, you are allowed to identify as that, but you are not allowed to practice cultural, religious things that don't line up with the law. So if they were bodily things that would, in our eyes of the government, cause harm to someone, you're not allowed to act on those things.
Right.
The last fundamental freedom we have is movement. This is the right to freedom of movement, includes the right to move freely within a country for those who are lawfully within the country, the right to leave any country, and the right to enter a country of which you are a citizen. This means, as Australian citizens, we are allowed to move state to state as we please, provided we don't have a fence behind us or whatever. We are allowed to leave Australia, and we are allowed to come back to Australia. Now, since COVID, since COVID, people were bringing up this fundamental freedom and saying you are breaching that freedom by not letting people travel interstate and everything when we were on lockdown for all those times. So that's another example of what the fundamental freedom to movement is. Now, going back,
That's a lot of information.
it is.
Did any of you guys know we had these rights?
I had no fucking idea.
Yeah, I didn't fucking know.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have 7 that are completely different for immigrants. So
Yeah, what?
prepare yourself for that one.
And look, with freedom of speech, when we're talking now, when you say we have the right to free speech, that is technically incorrect. We don't have the right to free speech. And free speech does not equal hate speech without repercussion. So there are other laws in place alongside free speech that would protect people, such as anti-discrimination laws, so gender, race. You can't just go online and go, Reds are queer and I think they're fucked and I want to shoot them in the head.
Say that right now. I dare you. Say it in the comments.
watch
Pride
them
Month,
blow up.
say
Watch them
it.
blow up. So you can't attack people based on religious beliefs, gender, age, race, all basic things in any workplace, any situation. There are anti-discrimination laws in place to protect people speaking badly about other people. Now, before I get into the arguments that are going on in the kind of more political realm of it, we're going to talk about some opinion and we're going to talk about some personal experiences. So, guys, in your opinion, what's the difference between an opinion and a hot take? Is there a line before it turns into hate speech?
Well, I think a hot take is just an opinion, just normally controversial, you know?
Mhm.
I feel like I got hot takes about everything. That might even be a hot take, you know? It's like, I don't know. I don't think maybe there's a clear difference between an opinion and a hot take. It's
Mhm.
just one's just a bit more heated than the other. Oh, see? That's why it's hot take. You know, it's just a heated opinion, I
Yeah.
guess, you know? Like, common opinion, bullying's bad, hot take, bullying pretty good. You know, I don't know, shit like that. But it's not like, I think it would cross the line, which I wouldn't have thought about ever previously to this. But like when it crosses like a legal line, I guess, when it's legally considered hate speech, which is something I've never really thought about.
Yeah, I've committed many hate crimes. When when back in my bad days with my relationship with social media, I used to post really vulgar, bad shit, and I loved using slurs and just being a big old dickhead. So I have technically committed many hate crimes on the internet.
Lock her up. Guilty. Guilty.
Did you just misgender me during Pride Month?
Lock them up. Guilty. Lock me up. Guilty.
So yeah, there are things in place protecting people with that. So I think people don't take that into consideration though.
No, never.
When you're speaking, you're not like, oh, is it legal to call this douchebag a douchebag? Like, you're not thinking like consciously, especially in social media.
Oh yeah.
Like
any Xbox game chat.
Yeah, no, when it's live content, like that can be put in so quickly and posted so quickly it is, and it just bounces off of each other and can turn into this huge fucking thing. But like, I think, yeah, they're just different ends of the spectrum, hot take and opinion. Like I take that back actually.
Yeah.
I think that hot takes, it depends if it's a moral thing you're talking about or just a thing you're talking about.
Or more like, I reckon, like, what's the difference between a hot take and hate speech?
Yeah. What's the difference between an opinion and...
I mean, most people, when you go to them, what's a hot take? They're going to go, a fucking what?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's such like a 50-50, if not 60-40 thing, you know? I always ask, do you know what I mean when I say hot take? And like, it's either a yes or a no.
Yeah,
right?
and you just explain it pretty quickly. But...
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I think that there is a difference between opinions and like when things get controversial. Like, I know it's my opinion versus your opinion, but there's a point where I think there's a difference between you giving your opinion and you being a shit cunt.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say that the intent.
Yeah, regardless of all this legislation stuff. Like, so another question I was gonna ask you guys is, can you be friends with different people? Can you be friends with people who have different opinions to you? Tying into that, of course I can. When it comes to things like, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Fuck you all.
Let's go.
Do you prefer OJ or apple? Apple.
Yeah, I'll agree with
Okay,
that one.
all right.
Yeah.
There are different things, and there are even more heated things you can have opinions about. What was the slap? Did the slap deserve to happen?
The Chris Rock and Will Smith thing?
Thank you. Yeah, true. You know, people have opinions about that, but when it comes to things like, do people deserve the same rights as certain people? Do people deserve the same bodily autonomy rights as other people? Like, it depends what subject you're talking about and what side of the fence you're sitting on, because there's always going to be, but my opinion is right and your opinion is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, there's
always one person who's like that.
And even if you claim to see eye to eye, you wouldn't believe what you believe if you didn't think it was true. And what the other person's saying is not fucking true.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
That's why a lot of people agree to disagree when they come to certain subjects that can't.
I hate the agree to disagree. I'm right, cunt. I'm right. I'm always right. I've never been wrong.
Look, and I think, like, it's something I've been worried about on this channel, the difference between a healthy debate and harmful conversation.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between giving people a platform to have healthy conversations, freedom of speech, and then there's letting shitty people say shitty things.
Yeah.
Which does, in turn, turn into hate speech. You can have a healthy debate on two completely different sides of the spectrum for any subject. Doesn't matter what it is. There's always two sides to the story.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's just, it really depends on what you're talking about and how you feel on the subject. But there is, I think there is definitely a difference between opinion and, like, I don't even know how to word it properly, because, like, hot take, now that I've said that a few times, doesn't feel right. But opinion can leak into hate speech very easily.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it all depends. Yeah, I think you brought up a good point talking about, like, what subject that you're speaking on, you know? I feel like a lot of my friends, like going back to like, can you be friends with people with a different opinion to you?
Yeah.
Depends what like the matter you're talking about is.
Yeah, how passionate you are about
Like-
the subject.
Like, if you like mango ice cream, you're a gangster, you know?
Hell yeah.
Like, my friends who like mango ice cream, shouts out to you. Because that's, I don't know, that's just opinion. Like, I feel like it's easier to get along with people who share the same opinions as me and values.
Yeah,
But if you're talking about some
definitely.
real heavy topics and it drastically changes, like, your opinion can really show, like, your, like, sense of character,
when
like, of who you
moral
are.
comes into play.
Yeah,
of opinion.
then it gets a bit more heated, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And people, like we said before, gravitate to people who have similar opinions. And we have the right to that. We have the right to be with other groups of people that believe the same thing. But it's like when we were talking on the show a few weeks ago and we brought up the fat phobia issue that I was talking about, that was a bit of a heated discussion. Some may say, again, and someone say this is real social justice warrior stuff, but some would say that that conversation was hateful from your end.
From my end,
And
no.
And that even though I'm on this end of the table, like, no, what you're saying is wrong, and we're having a healthy enough debate over it, some people could still see that as hate speech.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you're even saying that sort of thing, the fact you even think it's okay to say something like that is fucked up. Like, I agree with that personally on that particular subject, but
ouch.
yeah.
When your opinion becomes so controversial, it's offensive.
No, 100%. And like the biggest issue I see with free speech, when I was watching all the YouTube stuff about it, it was mainly the pronoun conversation that came into play. And I thought this would be a little bit interesting for us to have a quick talk about today. The biggest thing I saw was, if I don't have the freedom to speech, like you making me gender people correctly, that is imposing on my freedom of speech. I shouldn't have to gender people correctly because that's not freedom of speech. All right. That's the argument I
No,
see
that
often.
actually is kind of
No,
a good point. Now that I'm
look,
thinking
when
about
I
it.
heard that, I was like, fair enough. Like, that makes
Yeah.
sense. But then with the anti-discrimination stuff in place, if you're purposely going out of your way, I understand not getting it or whatever, but if you're purposely misgendering someone because you refuse to gender them correctly, that is hate speech and you're being a cunt. There is no...
Yeah, because
That's my opinion
discriminatory
on that.
behavior because you're
Yeah.
discriminating them because they've asked you to do something else.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're purposely... There's a difference between accidentally, like, misgendering someone. That's not what the queer community is worried about in this particular situation.
And it takes a long time for some of us to get used to it. So it's
Yeah.
like extended apologies. I'm fucked for it.
Yeah.
But god damn it.
It's like the issue that
Confusing.
I saw at campus, they wrote a list of pronouns that they wanted all the teachers to start using, which included a lot of neo-pronouns. Now, neo-pronouns are quite controversial.
I was going to ask if you're going to explain that. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Yeah, what are they?
Neo-pronouns are very controversial. They are pronouns that are not in the binary of male or female. So they're not they, them, he, her, any of that. It's it, it's, itself. There's a few other that come to mind, like z, zim.
Invader Zim, I love that show.
You can giggle if you're having a giggle. Like, I know you're not trying to be rude, and I'm not that educated on neo-pronouns, even as a non-binary person. It's not my cup of fucking tea. But a university asked for neo-pronouns to be included into school. And one of the professors straight up said, fuck that bullshit.
Oh, shit.
He said, I will never conform to your social justice warrior made up gender bullshit.
It's probably too much of a waste of his time. He's already calling out fucking names. He doesn't want to remember all of these fucking things he's never heard of in his life. Like,
That was his opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and that guy pretty much share the same opinion.
he
you know?
was just like, yeah, nah, not doing that
So
shit.
what do you guys think in the realm of gendering people correctly? Fuck all the legislation stuff. Don't worry about all the legal stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to correctly gendering people, when do you think it is you committing hate speech versus your freedom of speech being imposed?
The official definition of bullying, right, is constant targeted harassment, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in my opinion, it would be hate speech when you've been constantly asked to just try your best to, like, gender someone correctly and then continuously just going out of your way to be like, no, this is what you are. Like, Instead of being like, oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to. It's like, no, you're this. Deal with it. I
Yeah.
think that's where the line draws of just being like, what's the word? Arrogant?
Arrogant.
No, ignorant.
Ignorant,
Ignorant, right?
yeah.
Being ignorant
Yeah.
versus like knowing better and choosing not to do better.
Mhm. So you're saying like it kind of depends on the intent.
Yeah.
Like if it's an accidental thing, obviously.
But if
you
you're if you're deliberately disregarding their requests,
Yeah.
you're being
Yeah.
a dick.
You, Rachel,
Yeah.
as, again, one of the straightest people at the table. We love having these
Is that
conversations
accurate?
with you.
Yeah, that'd be very accurate. Yeah, yeah.
What do you feel about that subject? About your freedom of speech being imposed versus you hate criming people with pronouns?
See, I've noticed I accidentally offend a bunch of people because I'll call them a he or a she and they'll be like, I'm sorry, but it's this. And it's like, okay, sorry, I'll hopefully get it right next time. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But if it's like a stranger when I've like in the
First met
shops,
them, no
yeah,
context,
it was
yeah.
like, oh, can you just ask her for something? And when like a stalker would be like, I'm not a her, I've never met you before. Please don't like. Some people just expect you to know, which is a bit.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic.
Yeah,
It
and
is.
it's a bit intimidating as well, just like having to have everyone as a blank slate and trying to build on top of from their thoughts and what they look like. It's like, which of it is it?
Yeah.
It's confusing and intimidating.
Yeah,
For sure.
fair enough.
I remember
enough.
like it was super hard like when you came out as non-binary. Just because you're my sister.
Yeah.
It's so hard to be like them my sister instead of she my sister.
You
like,
say they're not them, but good
yeah,
try.
see, I'm still learning, you know. I'm still learning. I feel like my friends correct me more than you do.
Yeah, your friend's actual real G. With
Yeah, they're pretty
that.
good with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never like an intent thing. I never intend to be a cunt. It's just like 17 years of my life I've called you.
Yeah, facts.
She, her.
And we were the sister and brother, particularly in our family too. That's how we were seen, as the sister and the brother, like
Yeah.
the boy and the youngest boy and youngest girl of the family. You know?
Yeah.
And being the only girl of my family, I had a lot of pressure of that. Like I have
Yeah, true that.
six brothers who are cis, normal, you'd say, dudes who identify as men.
Yeah.
And I'm the only queer, like gender non-confirming person in my family. So like it was a lot of, I'm the only daughter, the only sister. Like there's not heaps of chicks in our family, you know. There's always, I get it's not an overnight thing, or we don't expect that. Like don't expect an overnight thing. But Bells, do you have an opinion on whether or not there is a difference between having freedom of speech in that subject versus hate criming someone?
I definitely think that like there can be accidents,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
but like
I was an accident.
I don't understand how hard it is to like
Like you don't think it's a hard
no
thing. Yeah.
to do. For me personally, I just find it's not that hard, and I don't really understand why people get really upset over it.
Yeah. So you don't
Like on both ends, like of like people who like are asking to be gendered correctly versus people refusing to gender people correctly.
Why are we all taking it personally?
Yeah, I think so. I think what you were trying to say is like people who refuse to gender people correctly, or like
Yeah.
say it's really hard, and like
Yeah.
that it's for you personally, it's not been that hard, so you don't
No.
understand why like it's hard for other people to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Where do you draw the line in friendships though, you know? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Like, you know how you're just having
Yeah, yeah.
banter to actual just being like a cunt to your
Look,
homies?
yeah, when it comes to real, like the graphic things that I care about as a person fundamentally, I won't be friends with someone who associates with different morals than I do. When it comes to the things that I think are really fucking important, I won't be friends with someone who has a different opinion with me about it. Like, I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head, but
No, but like, I think for an example, for like me being like a male,
Mhm.
like growing up, you're told like it's an Australian thing, right?
yeah.
You call your mates cunts and you call cunts mate, right?
Yeah, fuck
So
yeah.
like, where do you draw the line on that being hate speech? Is it like when one day you just randomly choose to be offended by it?
Well, no, because there's context there. It's endearment.
Yeah.
Like, it's like another poor example, but my mum, who has dark skin, she is a person of color. She used to call my white nephew, her grandson, blonde hair, blue eyes, glows in the dark white. Right? This boy is white as they come. And she used to call him my little N-word in public. And to mum, that was a term of endearment. It was a little funny thing. But every other person who heard that within a fucking 20-meter radius every time she said it was like, what the fuck? Like, without context and intent. I'm saying that's fucked up, by the way. Yeah, that's fucked up.
It is better than going, hey, my little Aryan.
What does that mean?
What's that?
That's what the Nazis were aiming for. A complete acceptance of the Aryan race. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, pale skin.
Oh, white. Right. I don't know what you meant. Yeah, I don't know what you meant
They were
by
called
that.
the Aryan race.
Right.
That's what they were aiming for.
That's what the fuck he
Genetic
is.
perfection.
Yeah. But look, it's
That's what they were looking for.
look, it's not any better. Like, they're both equally as shit.
Yeah.
Like, there shouldn't be any descriptive term used to describe someone like that. But when we're talking with intent, my mum wasn't hate criming her own grandson, and my nephew didn't feel hate crimed by his grandmum. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
So I think there is a line between, that's where the legislative stuff has to come into it. Otherwise, it could just be, that really hurt my feelings. You hate crimed me.
Perfect example. I had a friend, if he ever sees this, he'll know who he is. He has a really bad burn up his arm, and some of his friends call him Chicken Nugget Boy because of the deep fryer that fell on him, and others call him like Burn and then his name afterwards. And that's when his friends do it, he's fine with it. He jokes along with it. But if someone else does it, he just smacks him in the mouth. And it's fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
And it's like, in the context and the intent of which people are using it, because some people will use it as an insult.
Well, that's kind of controversial, right? So it's only
Exactly.
hate speech when you choose it to be.
Exactly. And if you interpret it as hateful, then it's hateful. But it's like, but it's
Look,
for
but
him,
see,
he was like, it's a physical descriptor.
A friend to a friend, in your example, Rachel, a friend to a friend versus a friend to a stranger, there is different dynamics.
Exactly.
But in the eyes of the court.
No, but
yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
I kind of have a story, like with my mum, she was like talking to someone who was like older, and they called one of their friends like the N-word because they had like black hair and it was like curly.
Oh my god.
But they were white skinned.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn.
Jesus. And then?
My mum's like, that's really offensive.
Hell yeah. Go,
They're good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it is.
shit. That is fucked up, man. Like, yeah, that was the intent to speak down on someone. Like, that was
Yeah.
was intent to be insulting. Like, I think I used the example at work when my chef said the thing about the lights. Like, it's the same thing there. Like, the intent, I don't know where the legal bit comes into it. If it was friend versus friend, I'm sure that the government wouldn't go, oh, this dude called his friend a black cunt on Facebook. We have to prosecute him. That's fucked up.
Do we have to censor that?
So, I don't know. Sorry, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of
Because
a
I'm just saying, when Taylor Walker from The Crow said this, Taylor Walker, Texas Walker.
Taylor Walker.
Yeah, Taylor
think-
Walker. I don't know anything about sports.
Definitely not
What
Texas
the fuck? Look
Walker.
at me.
That's a TV show.
Yeah, Texas Walker Ranger.
That's
what
why
I
I'm
was
like,
thinking.
bro,
But
no.
he said the exact
Yeah.
same thing, right?
Yeah.
And he got like
Cancelled for it?
hardcore.
Okay,
Like,
alright.
Like
Cool.
a minor suspension maybe. It was some shit like that.
This is the conversation we're talking about right now. I'm not intending to hate crime anyone when I use those words. I'm just trying to use an example. But let's say, sorry.
Censor it anyway.
Yeah,
We're censoring
sorry.
it.
Let's say in the court of law, there are two friends and one calls the other one a slur
Yeah.
or whatever the fuck. Says something about their race, something about their gender, something about their age. And the other friend didn't feel offended and the first friend didn't intend to offend anyone. I don't think the government's going to go, you need to be prosecuted. Until it's a situation where someone is offended and there was intent to offend, then it will be taken to court and it will be decided by a jury. Like it's a decision thing. It's not black or white. That's why there are so many rules in place for it. Like, we don't have the right to walk into an airport and go, I've got a bomb. No, I'm serious. That is not freedom of speech. You don't have the right to do that. That's
You will also get removed off of any plane if you say bomb.
yeah,
They
as
will
fucking
remove
should.
you.
But that you are causing fear. You're intimidating a group of people. Like,
Right, alright. I was wondering where it was
where that
coming
was
in.
going. Yeah,
where,
even as a joke, you can't say those sorts of things because it's intimidating a group of people. Like it's targeting someone with violence, and regardless of your intent.
And then also the airport then has to like take that seriously and then put
True.
like effort into like figuring
Yeah.
out the shutting down things
No,
and
exactly.
stuff.
There are
And it's
situations
just a
where it
joke.
happens. Yeah, or even at school, if a kid were to say, "Oh, I'm gonna hurt myself as a joke," or "I'm gonna do this as a joke," all of a sudden, or "I'm gonna shoot this kid," all of a sudden, we've got lockdowns, people freaking the fuck out over just what? Because someone thought they had the right to express that opinion during a moment of anger. Like,
yeah,
it's good that there are laws in place to filter
agreed.
what is defined and not defined as freedom of speech or hate speech. And again, the biggest thing I saw is freedom of speech is not equivalent to hate speech with no repercussion. That is not the same thing. You can't get on Facebook and go, I hate all Islams. That's fucked up. Like, you will get prosecuted for that. That is a hate crime. You're intending to target a group of people and intimidate or
religion.
cause harm and
And you're also like it's classed as like attacking a religion sort of thing.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah,
you
exactly.
can't be discriminatory towards religions because
Exactly.
you know they have their right to it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I know this sounds sort of dumb, but like before this episode, I just assumed like a hot take and hate speech that would be determined by whoever's your judge in court. I didn't think
Right.
there were actual legal placements to determine like
no. If it
what-
would even go to court, if it's worth going to court, if it's just a waste of time.
yeah,
like,
I
if
actually
it's
thought you
a
could
dispute.
just say shit like
Yeah.
that.
No, yeah, you can't. So did
No.
I. That's what I mean. Technically on Facebook, I've committed many hate crimes. Before.
Yeah.
I think another thing that goes hand in hand with this whole freedom of speech, censorship thing, Elon Musk and Twitter. Now,
Yeah.
for any context, I don't know anything about
Shouts out Muskie.
fucking any of this shit, right? He is the biggest shareholder of Twitter. He currently owns 9% of Twitter. This could have updated by the time we're recording this, by the way. When I checked yesterday, he owns 9% of Twitter. He is the largest shareholder of Twitter. He messaged or sent a letter to the board of Twitter saying, basically, in summarizing words, if you don't sell me the rest of Twitter, I'm going to have to reconsider being a stockholder, which means he would sell his part of Twitter, which would crash the Twitter market completely because
Oh yeah.
it just, I don't know, it throws all the prices out of
Yeah, who
whack.
knows?
I don't know how
Yeah.
that shit works, but it'll fuck Twitter. If Twitter don't cave and sell to Elon Musk, they will be bankrupt or whatever the fuck.
Their
Like, they can't
stonks will
afford it.
fail.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Is that legal blackmail?
Well, he said if you don't sell to me, I will have to reconsider being a stockholder. That's what he said. So it's an indirect threat, but it's legal. Like, it's a business.
That's what I said.
man.
It's,
It's
le-
blackmail.
it's
Yeah,
legal.
it's legal,
It's legal
yeah.
blackmail.
Yeah, 100%.
Because it's not quite extortion. He hasn't gotten anything out
No,
of it
and he
yet.
hasn't threatened anyone. There's no threats. There's no
Damn.
anything about that.
Where are we going with
The
this?
thing with Twitter is one of the biggest social platforms for people to express their fucking opinions and stuff. And people like Donald Trump have been
Yeah.
banned from Twitter because
Oh, he's actually banned.
I'm pretty sure he's still actually banned from Twitter. Yeah,
That's
because he
sick.
posts dumb fucking shit. He posts fake news and he posts dumb shit all the time. So he got banned from Twitter. Yeah, Twitter has a big censorship issue. Like, there's lots
Yeah.
of debates over whether or not Twitter is over censored. Elon Musk's aim is to buy Twitter, own 100% of it, and hand it over to the different group of people who censor it the way he thinks it should be done. So people have, within the realm of the law, the right to their own opinion. Because at Twitter at the moment, very often political tags, like political posts and stuff for certain communities, get taken down and flagged really easily. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people are struggling with their Twitter.
I was going to say a couple of celebrities have been fired from their job. There was an actress that was in Star Wars Bad Batch. She got fired from her job sorry, not the Bad Batch, the Mandalorian. She got fired from her job because she said being a Republican under Donald Trump's presidency was like being a Jew, and she got fired from her fucking job for that.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
So
Jesus Christ.
and even because she made a relation and it was a political view.
Yeah.
So therefore she got fired and cancelled, and her career is down the gurgler. Like,
Wait, so she compared being a Trump supporter.
she compared being a Republican to being a Jew under the Trump presidency. Yeah. Because they were under the same victimized, abused, because it was left wing versus right wing.
All right, what do you guys think? Freedom of opinion, or is that hate speech?
Yeah, I don't think
What
she
do you
should have
guys
been
think
fired
about
from
that?
that job.
I don't.
No.
Not about should she have lost her job. Not fuck all that. Do you think that statement is hate speech
just
or
to,
free
just to
opinion?
clarify, she was like using Jew as an insult, right? She was like,
No, she was saying that
or she relating
No,
it back to
so
the cultural
Demo-
background of being.
The
Yeah.
Holocaust. It was
Yeah,
as bad as
Yeah.
living through the
yeah,
Holocaust.
she was saying that Democrats versus Republics. The Democrats were attacking the Republicans just like the Germans were attacking the Jews. That's what she was comparing it to. And she got fired from her job. And it was just a comparison. She wasn't saying
I
that
don't
it
think
was
she
it.
necessarily should
I
have
don't.
got
I don't know if that's
fired.
quite hate speech.
No, it was because it was on a political
What
view.
is that a hot take?
I think so because I feel like it's like if you're choosing to be like this, you're choosing to be like oppressed as this cultural background was. But I feel like
Yeah, well, she's not
her
trying.
wording's pretty
Yeah,
shit.
she's not trying to hate crime the Jewish community.
No, exactly.
No.
And she
Not-
wasn't trying to go at the Democrats either. She
Yeah.
was just trying to say that people that were so mindlessly following Trump and attacking the other party were
that's
so
a
dumb.
really piss poor comparison.
Exactly. It was so
Like-
terrible, but yet they
Yeah.
went so over the top in the reaction.
I think it's a bit of a reach to say that's hate speech, though.
yeah.
I feel like it's not far off.
Yeah, that's not the right words for it, though. Like,
Yeah.
that's fucked up and it's not right. Like, obviously, that is not fucking right.
But it
Completely
definitely got
but I
overreacted
personally think
to.
it's
Yeah.
a hot take.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think she should have lost her job over it.
No.
No, she lost her role in Mandalorian and a whole bunch of other things. So
Dude, if she was a fucking
R.I.P. her career.
if she was a
Bozo.
political person, if she was in a member of parliament
No.
or something, yeah, all right, maybe I wouldn't be so mad about her losing her job over such a
True, you-
crazy
She's literally
statement.
just an
She's
actress.
a fucking actress.
You
That's
think
all
it-
she is.
You think her position of power?
Obviously, she's obviously not in politics for a
but
fucking
that's,
reason.
that sounds like her.
Listen to it.
That feels like to me that sounds like you're saying like her position of power determines if it's hate speech or not. That's what that kind of sounded like.
But see, I kind of agree with that because if we're going to talk controversial hot opinions, I don't think white people can experience racism because racism is a dynamic power thing, and it was a system.
Fuck.
So I understand, like, so I knew I'd get that reaction, but
Fucking hell.
that-
That's a hot take.
yeah, like
Yeah, that's not hate.
Dumps that on
but
us
It's
for
not
6
hate
minutes
that
ago.
really kind of that's really sitting on a line,
yeah,
bro.
yeah. Some people might go, that is racist to say, or that is hate speech to say.
Yeah.
White people can't experience racism, is my opinion. That is a hot take. I get that. I get that is a hot take, right? But that's not hate speech. I'm not saying that white people can't be targeted. I'm not saying, dude, like Mayo Monkey, I can't imagine all the white people names. Like, they're getting bad on the internet these days, okay? I'm not saying that white people don't
Do you have to censor that because it's
face
a slur for white
Mayo
people?
Monkey? Are you serious?
I am, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Just because you don't think white people can experience racism red doesn't mean everyone else doesn't think that. So maybe we do have to censor it. I'm trying to be reasonable
I
about
don't
this
even know
conversation.
what that means.
Holy shit! First of all, I think
There's a
that word
difference
is
between
hate speech.
opinion
Because
and hate
that
speech.
is targeting a race. That is targeting a race and being hateful towards them. I
Yeah.
think that word is hate speech. Maybe your hot take isn't such a hate
Mhm.
speech.
But yeah, but that term in particular or whatever, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying white people don't experience equal fucked up backlash in the media or prejudice or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, but like that's not I'm not trying to go into my point about that. I'm trying to go into there's a difference between hate speech and opinion.
Yeah.
It's just I would never go out and hurt a white person because I think white people can't experience racism. Like, that's fucking stupid. That actress, I don't think she's out hurting Jewish people or
No.
hurting Republicans or Democrats. Like, I think it was just a
It was literally a tweet.
just a hot take, you know.
And then the world went, no.
But even if, so that's a good example, even if Elon Musk is to regain censorship on Twitter and everything, the public is still the decider.
Still
that
covered in wet
actress-
flannels.
Yeah, even if Twitter decided that what she said wasn't bad, that actress still could have got fired from her job. Like,
Yeah, especially she got fired by fucking Disney.
yeah, yeah.
Fucking
We're
hell.
like at the end of the show today. That
Yeah.
I could go on
Look.
so much more about all this
You're
shit.
like, I dumped the good
Look,
topic at the end.
we got 4 minutes left for right now until we officially got to end this shit. But I think there's a difference between opinion and hate speech, and there's a difference between
a hot take and hate speech, because opinions can be anything.
and there's a
But-
difference between saying something and acting on it too. Like
True.
acting out and actively hurting people versus words. Words
But then-
hurt, but not the same way.
I also like think about things that are like indirectly causing like harm to people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how we were talking the other day about like the, you know, school shooters,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like because people bring up their names and stuff like that.
Oh, like talking about them versus
Yeah.
victims.
Yeah. But then like people start to like idolize them.
Today is a big fucking episode. I could go on about
That's
this
a
shit
lot of
for
fucking
hours.
information to take in, man.
Get in the comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us what you feel about this ep. If you got anything to add, we'll bring it up during one of the Q&A episodes. Hot fucking topic today. Holy shit.
Yeah.
With that being said,
Fuck everyone here. And that's the end. Look, man, as always, shouts out to Rory from Podbooth who records our shit, our show. Such a good time as always. Shouts out to the local drug action team for funding us. Shouts out to everyone for being here. Shouts out to all of you guys for tuning in. As always, peace and love. Till next time, puff and pass.
Puff and pass.
my name is Red. I make bread.
Yeah, that's
Something
good.
that rhymes with bread.
Okay.
I don't know any other words. You fuck,
You
Yeah.
fucking
fuck it up.
snob.
my bad.
Puff and pass.